Welcome to the summer version of Medic. It's great to see everybody in person. Be nice to not have to be sitting in our Zoom calls, and so it's nice to be here. It's a beautiful hotel. I've never been here, and it's just wow, really very nice. So thank you for coming. It's having really great. So anyway, we've got a pretty good meeting here for you today. I just want to. Sorry, I'm already touching things and getting things wrong here. As far as disclosures, Keith has a couple of sources of funding to disclose from SAMHSA as well as the NIH. Shel Macy, as you know, is our partner from Lurie Children's Hospital in Northwestern. Myself and the rest of the collaborative crew have no other disclosures to me. Use the clicker instead. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Okay. So just a reminder, when you register for our meetings, we all agree to keep our meetings confidential. And what that means is that there are sometimes things that are unblinded throughout the meeting. So we don't want any screenshots on phones, things like that. So just remember that. Thank you. Today's agenda, just so you know, we're starting the meeting now. We will be done by 3. There's a nice lunch involved. We'll talk a little bit about some things just to kick us off. I'll do the hospitality section as we begin and give our performance updates. And we have a guest speaker today, Dr. Elizabeth Samuels, going to talk to us about harm reduction strategy, our opioid initiative. So it'll be really exciting. And then we will launch into some backup information about the open project in general, and then try to get you teed up with some good quality improvement toolboxes to help you with these new measures. So looking forward to the entire day with you. So we will feature. Just remember that we always offer CME. So we can always just point your phone here and get it right now, or this PowerPoint will be sent to you in an email with all of these links. So you can, look at your email and do it then. So just remember, take advantage of these points. I just want to say a welcome. She's not here. This is Dr. Jessica Hoon. As you know, we introduced Dr. Vinesh Patel, who's in the room with us from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Our partners, the way the umbrella works is that they usually have medical directors that interface with the CQIs. And we're fortunate enough to have Dr. Vinesh Patel, who's an emergency physician, and now we will have, in addition of Dr. Jessica Hoon, who is a pediatrician. So for us particularly, it's super helpful to have those people on board within the Blue Cross Blue Shield. She's originally from the Trinity Health IHA, and she will function with Dr. Patel in the Blue Cross Blue Shield office. So I'm looking forward to that. I really also want to introduce to you the open partners, and this is the Opioid Prescribing Engagement Network that a lot of you have already been working with, but some of you will be working on our opioid project for the first time. And so these people are here today. Thank you, Ellie, Gina, Emily, Chelsea, Lauren, and Garrett. We will meet more and hear more about them throughout the agenda today. A couple Tableau reminders. A couple things. Remember, the Tableau workspace is just an enormous asset to our data and our data visualization through the reporting. And our team has worked put an amazing amount of hours to make this function for a lot of different people. So if you are struggling or need some help or tips, there's going to be sign-up hours. Katie Granachia and our team is available. And in this PowerPoint, when you get it in your email, if you put it in presentation mode, if you can click on that sign up here box, it'll take you to a sign up sheet. But you can also sign up today. Just see Katie. Raise your hand, Katie. And she will get you slided into a slide. Just maybe a reminder, update. Hey, I don't know what I'm doing. My, faculty keep asking me this. She's happy to help. So there is a phenomenal new pediatric respiratory dashboard. We need a link, and we will be happy to send it to you. Again, talk to Katie. Dr. Chris Fung, who's one of our Michigan Medicine emergency physicians, is the data board behind it, and he is here also too. If you already have looked at it and have questions, please. let us know. I'm going to turn it over to Gary Smith, who's going to give us some SNAP awards for our phenomenal abstractors who keep us going. Thanks, Michelle. We just see in the next.
Okay, so we did this last year. We're doing this every year. So what happens is we go through what we call our SNAP reviews. Those are sharing knowledge and perspective. They're technical audits that we do just to make sure that we are all being very consistent with our abstracting and all the information that all the data that comes through. So we do these every year, and then every year I also pick out our top performers, and then they are exempt from the SNAP review the following year because they did so well. This is also tied to a portion of the P for P, so this counts for points, so it's kind of a big deal. And every time we come in and do these SNAP reviews, it's a very in-depth review of very specific cases and all the modules and even long cohorts. So it's kind of stressful for my abstractors, which I apologize for, but it's kind of a necessary thing that we do. But honestly, it's a great learning opportunity for them in the material. So for this year, what I'd like to do is have our abstractors stand, because we gave out the awards. We had an abstractor meeting yesterday, and I gave out the awards and their certificates, but I've got most of them here today. So the ones who did incredibly well, everybody does fabulous, but my abstractors are just amazing. But these ones, they had the scores between 99.5 and 99.8. So it was very incredible scores. So the first one I'm going to call out is Hannah. Delta, if you just want to stand. Holly Bristow. And we have Andrea Lamar. Yep. And then Nancy Rose. We have 900 people, so so everybody. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. So each meeting that we host, we try to give the collaborative some updates on, where are we, how are we doing, and so that's this section, which we'll kind of run through with a couple of little twists that I'll get to. So as here's our overall dashboard. We just try to look at our year-over-year performance over the years since our inception. And I'm just going to kind of note, the green signals were moving in the right direction. The red signals were kind of moving in the wrong direction. And oranges were just on the cusp of doing good. So for our adult minor head injury, up is better. And we are in the clear at 58.9%. The pediatric minor head injury CT overuse, which remember we're not actively measuring on right now, but we want to keep that in maintenance in a good phase, is still 7.3%, which is good. The intermediate risk CT use for children, according to the current rules, is still doing well at 16.6, and that is one we're actively measuring. The CT for suspected PE is a red 8.0. The pediatric respiratory illness, as our all-in for kids year, is 22.3. So we're kind of right on the cusp of being able to meet that about a little over half of the year measurement year. So we want to try to keep moving in that direction. Pediatric asthma discharge is 77.4, but remember, we actually turned that into a time to steroid process measure, and we are doing well at that, 54.1. And then the lower chest pain is 95. So, and we have begun in our data collection, the opioid, which is what the day is about, is currently at 44.5%. We just want to give everybody just kind of a very large 30,000 foot snapshot. And then where are we at in the measurement year for VBR? So remember, we have percent CT scans, the appropriateness measure for adults. We are in the green. Our current target is greater than or equal to 55%. And we are currently at 61% in this part of the measurement year. In terms of the pediatric intermediate risk, CT risk for head injuries, the target is less than or equal to 19%, and we're down at 14%. So we are moving in the right direction. The 2023 collaborative wide chest X-ray utilization, we are in the green. The target is less than 37%, and we are currently on that one as well. And the collaborative-wide intermediate risk pediatric minor head injury CT utilization is less than or equal to 25% in the green. So remember, we do also have a couple of these extra public health measures, and these are all sites. This is smoking cessation counseling for COPD patients, and we're counting by month. The overall target is to be greater than or equal to 10% for at least 1 month. So far, a lot of people still have some work to do in terms of that, but it only has to be met for at least 1 month. So we heard some good news in the executive committee. Some people are doing some good things. So if you need help with this one, there are other people in the room working on it too that can be at the elbow support for you. So remember, medic sometimes works in themes, and we're in the middle of one right now, in the all in for kids theme. In other words, we're working on a lot of different measures, inclusive of pediatric measures, but we're trying to emphasize those this year. So how are we doing? What have we done this year in terms of kids? So we're over halfway there. We've got 5 more months to bring it home. We're kind of switching from respiratory season to more injury season. So all of these things become important. But for the first time ever, we are really focusing as a general and pediatric site collaborative to everybody step up for the kids. So we kicked off the P4P year with a high volume, and we had pediatric surge. We didn't anticipate that, but we did. We had a town hall to address that. In the November collaborative wide meeting, we spent a lot of time pulling out another QI tool, the key driver diagram. We're going to pull out another one today, a little bit later, and I'll head that up. And we had Todd Florin talk to us about the chest X-ray measure. So if you're looking for still, some work in chest X-ray at your site, even intervention could be just having your faculty talking about Dr. Florin's presentation. It's quite good. It's on the website, and you can take a look at that. So one of the things that we wanted to show you was, because we're a general plus pediatric collaborative, which is quite unusual in the family of CPIs, wanted to kind of show you the power of influencing general sites on the overall performance measures. So Katie was kind enough on our team to put this together, give you some sense. So January 2020 to March 2023 in mixed population sites. So this is the general site. Look at the year-over-year trend of what we're doing, okay, for minor head injury CT utilization. It's going down year over year. That's a beautiful trajectory. So we are meeting that because of work in the general sites. Yeah, here. And this is just the bottom graph to show you for all sites, now inclusive of the children's site, the overall trajectory. So you see the power of that can happen, even though individually we as physicians in general sites might only see 1 or 2 kids, and only a couple of these kids will have head injuries in the month that I work. That couple of pieces of information and influence is powerful. So please keep up the good work you're doing today. Thank you. So similarly, you can see this when we look at our Tableau dashboard, and we put together this pre and post. So I'm going to use my little finger here. So this is the pre, where we have last year's 365 days assessment of the general hospitals, which is the orange trajectory, and the children's hospitals, which is the blue trajectory. And now in the first portion of this particular year, where we are now at 150 days in, the most important thing to take away from this is that we now have a convergence of performance. So in other words, the general hospitals are converging onto the children's hospital performance. And that's exactly why we're here. And that's exactly what is supposed to happen if we want to happen. So another shout out. Can we have another applause? Because this is really phenomenal. So I just want to call out one other detail. Let's look at the denominators. The majority of children coming for head injuries in the medical lab are coming to the general hospitals, not the children's hospitals. So you have a problem. So thank you. We're going to do the same thing now for chest X-ray. And again, mixed population site. Okay, we're still in the red, but look at the trajectory. The trajectory is phenomenal. It's going down. It's going in the right direction. So that influence is having an effect. And again, when you consider all sites, We're just above where we want to be in the green, so we have work to do, but we see a similar trajectory, so we can't say that enough. When we look at the same scheme again in Tableau, we see the convergence that we want to see again. And so, hallelujah, we are moving in the right direction. I want to talk a little bit more about the recruitment. We're in recruitment stage right now. And as you know, one of the missions of Medic is to not just do the work we do within big academic hospitals or people who have a lot of, adults and children. We want to spread the message. So one of the things we did was try to involve in the model for relationships like ECS, which is a private group. How do we influence, a lot of those people? Now we're trying to work on the small. We have a lot of critical access hospitals throughout Michigan. They don't have enough people coming into their EDs, potentially measure the way we measure. So maybe our influence can be modeled in some different ways. So our eyeball is on trying to involve critical access hospitals. And you might ask, don't we have some in our collaborative? And it is actually true. We do have some. So this is the current model that we have right now that of critical access membership is within our structure. So ECS kindly brings us 4 sites, and Trinity brings us 3 for ECS and 1 for Trinity. So we really do have an opportunity to move the message of Medic beyond our big walls of our big EDs, and we're trying to do that. So we're going to ask your help. And what we've realized is because these small hospitals sometimes are frequently staffed by physicians rotating, locum tenens, all kinds of small groups, how do we do that? Well, it turns out those sites don't move. And the people that work there, like the nurses and the APPs, are usually there for a long time. So we're going to ask your help to try to identify these are critical access hospitals that are not in Medic. And they might be under your umbrella of the system, or they might be regionally nearby, or you might know some people who work there, nurses, APPs. So we're asking for your help to give us any contact leads in any of these hospitals. So at your leisure, if you could take a look at this PowerPoint when you go home, say, hey, I know so-and-so, whatever, and pass that information back to Katie or I, that would be awesome, because we're going to try to partner with some people to do that. And I missed it on the previous slide, but one of my colleagues at Michigan Medicine is interested in outreach education to critical access hospitals, and he's begun that work. So we are starting to talk to her about what she's learned with working with them, and maybe figure out some ways that we can, with economies of scale, partner together to make it more of an interest for everybody else. Okay, sped through that, and I apologize, I was trying to catch up a little bit of time.